From the time I turned 2, my life was in constant motion. That's how old I was when my mother loaded me, my sister, and my brothers onto a Greyhound bus in Kansas City, and we left my father. I was the youngest then, with lips and a nose like his, but I wouldn't know that for many years. I had no memories of him or photographs to remind me, and the next time I saw him, I would be 22 years old, traveling the world as a dancer with American Ballet Theatre, and Doug Copeland was just a middle-aged man whose temples had turned gray. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, my mother's second baby girl and her 4th child. 2 husbands later, our number would swell to 6. When my mom squeezed our lives onto a bus headed west, our family began a pattern that would define my siblings and my childhood: packing, scrambling, leaving, often barely surviving. I don't remember the ride, but it took 2 days. Our final stop was the city of Bellflower, a working-class suburb of Los Angeles. We started anew there, and for a time that would turn out to be too brief. We had a home full of comfort and warmth, along with a new father. His name was Harold, a childhood friend of my mother's. He met us at the bus station, and a little over a year later, he became her 3rd husband. Harold was a sales executive for the Santa Fe Railroad, but his personality didn't match the stiffness of his title. He looked like the baseball player Darryl Strawberry in his home run hitting prime, tall, muscular, and chestnut brown. Until my sister Lindsay was born 3 years later, I was the family's baby, and tiny for my age. Harold would scoop me up in his strong arms and tickle me until I dissolved into tears of laughter. Most of my earliest memories aren't of my mother, but of him. We kids were practically spilling out the front door and windows of our small apartment, but if our home sometimes resembled a 3-ring circus, Harold was more the ringmaster than a parental figure committed to reining us in. He was a prankster with an infectious laugh. When my mother wanted him to discipline us kids, he would turn even that into a game. "I'm not really going to spank you, but holler like I am," he'd whisper as he corralled us in the bedroom and shut the door. Then he'd take his broad palm and loudly slap the bed. "No, Daddy, no!" we'd scream, choking down giggles as we put on a performance we thought worthy of an Oscar. Mommy, satisfied and sitting in the living room, was none the wiser. Despite there being so many of us, Harold would carve out moments that made each of us feel like his only child. I remember loving sunflower seeds so much that my sisters and brothers took to calling me Bird. I traced my obsession to the times I would sit with Harold on the couch, the 2 of us alone together, popping seeds in our mouths and cracking the salty shells. Mommy hated it because the shells would fall between the cushions, making a mess. But memories of those afternoons remain precious to me. That was the side of Harold we kids saw: cheerful, comforting, kind. But behind that facade of laughter and fun, my mother saw something entirely different. Harold was an alcoholic. We caught only glimpses of it, out the corners of our eyes, like the ever-present beer can on my parents' nightstand. But I later found out that what was mostly invisible to us was in Mommy's plain sight. When I was 8 or 9, and we had a new home and a new daddy, Mommy would tell us stories of Harold not being in his right mind because of liquor, and how it sometimes frightened her. When I was in middle school, Lindsay, his biological daughter, would also...
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.